The Mastering Local Marketing podcast helps local small business owners like you understand what it takes to successfully market your business and drive new customers through your doors. We provide actionable insights, interview leading experts and business owners in various industries, as well as provide tips and tricks we've uncovered over the last 25 years in the field. Whether you're starting your business or you've been at it for decades, let us provide you with the education and resources you need to grow your customer base. It's time to start mastering your local marketing. Here's your host, Matt Hansen.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mastering Local Marketing. I'm Jim Deedlow-Jed. He's Matt Hansen. How you doing, Matt?
I am good.
We're on the campus of Purdue Northwest in Hammond, Indiana, in my private business on campus, which is digital streaming video and radio stations and streaming radio and podcasting and all of that. Former broadcasting turned into streaming. Matt is a clinical professor right here on the buildings behind us, and he is known as the digital marketing guru in these parts, which is Northwest Indiana, right outside of Chicago. We get together and we put some practical solutions, some ideas, the new trends. We finished our last podcast, and I told Matt, I go, man, you're freaking out the average local business owner with talks of AI and writing code and all that kind of stuff. But all you got to do is just have a nice attitude of taking a big breath and taking it in. Right. You've got this ultimate confidence, and you think everybody kind of has that. That is not the case, and I'm always bringing that back. But I can assure you, with just a little bit of time, you can make huge advancements, and part of it is taking the technology that other people have developed and bringing it down to the local level.
Right. Yeah. It's everything is scary at first. And there are things that I am learning about right now, and I've been doing this for 25 years, that, they don't scare me, they intrigue me. I don't understand them all, and they're new technologies, but over time, they'll be fine. So I think, again, start slow, understand things that make sense. Start with one, as we've mentioned a few times, but yeah, that's where I would go.
Today's partnerships are a key to growing fast. Matt's going to give me a little bit more leeway on this podcast in that I have all sorts of partnerships with different media and different streaming services and sports services and that kind of stuff. And I realized a few years ago that putting together partnerships was herding cats most of the time, but then I realized that most people don't want to herd cats. And so there was plenty of opportunity in that there's a lot of people out there that just want a place to go. And basically I built a sports network that brings in all sorts of local media because they had nowhere to go, and all sorts of sponsors that want to be on TV, but they didn't know where to go. So in your business, look around. Like, say, all right, no one wants to get together with these other people. It's so much hassle. Maybe that's the opportunity, and especially as the technology has allowed those partnerships to become easier to make. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? People don't necessarily seek out partnerships, but businesses that grow and that grow fast and get to where they want to be fast have embraced partnerships, right? So what would you say? 2 months ago, Jim and I were talking about, let's start a podcast. And I'm just like, here we are today. This is episode, 12? We have plans on doing many this year. But, Jim has content that he wants to get out to his people. I have content that I want to get out to my people. And we found a great partnership together on this, right? So could I have done this alone? Yes. Could you have done this alone? Yes. Would we be where we are today if we had done it separately? I guarantee you we wouldn't.
And I would have one less golf partner. Let's go straight at some of this. Sure. Now, really, there's a parallel here, and if you listen to these podcasts, I'm like, all right, don't be scared, don't be freaked out by this, blah, 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 because I was freaked out by some of this technology, and then I just wanted to put it on this other side of my brain and not to use it. And then I realized all this technology is developed somewhere else, but they're making it so that it's so cheap to use on the local level, right. Even your small business. Well, you have to have an open attitude for that. You also have to have an open attitude to work with others. This is especially hard to do. I work every day with the Times of Northwest Indiana. Mm-hmm. We used to be bitter rivals, and now we're like partnerships on all these different projects. And that was just because we started talking. We're not duplicating effort and that kind of thing. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to deal with anybody, then skip through this podcast.
Yeah.
This episode.
Right.
All right? Because it is based on the idea that there are opportunities to come together. One of them, I got to tell the story that when I went to Berkeley, I didn't have anywhere to live, and I lived on the streets for a while, and I got in, but they didn't have any housing back then, and I know it's still a problem. So I lived literally in the library and in the back of a shed and that kind of thing. And eventually, the only place I could find a place to live was in the cooperatives at the University of California, Berkeley. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was the stupidest thing that I had to go there, and then I had to cook dinner for 220 people eventually and wash pots and pans. And I knew how to fix a fence. They always gave me that. And I had to put in 12 hours a week. And I was like, then I was there for 3 years, and I realized that was an incredible way of doing projects and business and keeping your costs low. Now, it's very similar to what happens with co-op marketing in people that, well, explain to what co-op marketing is.
Yeah, so co-op marketing is just two or more companies coming together to develop some kind of ad to go out there, right? So you see a lot of this in the larger spaces with, let's say, a Target ad. You'll see some kind of cleaning company, Tide or something along those lines.
Super Bowl did a couple of these.
Right. So it's, you mesh kind of two brands together, and then they, many times share the cost, some percentage, whatever it may be. From a local marketing standpoint, there are people around you, or there are people in the vicinity of your business that have the very similar, if not the same customers, very similar customers. And maybe you're not necessarily competing, right? So I talk a lot about the family business that we had, and we had partnered with, there's Curves, the women's gym, right? So we knew that 98% of our customer base was female. We walked over to the Curves around the corner and started a program with them to promote our shop, and we would promote them as well. And it was this kind of co-op marketing that we were doing. And I don't want to get into the details of what we did, but our sales drastically went up when we did that. There were new people walking in all the time saying, I never knew you were here. This is a really neat place, and vice versa, right? So we were sharing the costs, we were sharing the audience, but we were both benefiting from it, and we would have never received those customers coming around the corner. Odds are we would have never received most of them, but it's worth it, right? Like, if we didn't do that, our sales wouldn't have gone up that year. And I know we've talked about measurement and all this other stuff in the past, but we could literally tie an increase in sales, an increase in average dollar amount to those co-op marketing programs that we were doing.
Bundling.
Bundling is always fun, right? So we just came out of Valentine's Day, and I think that's a perfect example. You can work with another company. Let's say you have a restaurant. Maybe you go and develop a package. It's maybe it's flowers. Maybe it's candy from a local candy company. Maybe it is movie tickets. Maybe it's Uber, something along those lines, and you build a package together where all of the people that are involved in it benefit to some degree, right? So if you're selling, let's say, a $100 package of dinner, flowers and candy, well, the candy company is going to get money from that. The flower company is going to get money from that, and the restaurant's going to get money from that. And all three of you are pushing that together to sell those packages, because once you reach a certain point, they're sold out. So, could you do that alone? Yes. Is it more efficient when two other businesses are pushing it in their place? Of course, right? So
herding cats.
Herding cats, right?
That's the downside to that. Yeah.
Yeah, getting everyone together.
It's got to be easy.
It's got to be easy, and you got to find the right partners. Don't find partners that are going to make it worse, but really find the ones that work well together, and that's what a partnership should be.
I'll give you an example of our bundling. Part of what we do is, and we're a news organization, and we go on radio, own some radio stations, and own the TV network now. We built a platform. And I looked at it a long time ago. I had a newspaper at one time, and I said, I'm never going to be able to afford gathering news, putting it on my radio stations, and putting it on my TV station. So started talking to the local newspaper, and they realized that they're never going to be able to build a broadcast outlet of any kind, and they're never going to have the money to develop this digital streaming. So we got together and said, all right, I'll tell you what, keep gathering the news. I'll turn it in, and I'll put it on my radio, I'll put it on my TV, and I'll create some video segments, and then your marketing department will be able to sell that and find spots for that. And it has worked swimmingly.
Yeah.
Because we do what we can do. We already do. They're doing what they already do. They don't want to have to go into a new side and create a TV station.
Yeah.
And we certainly don't want to have a full, 10-person newsroom. Mm-hmm. So now you bring it together, but ultimately it was best for the customer. Mm-hmm. We talk to the customers, well, would you do this? Would you do that? Boom. We create the local news, sold. Local weather sold, local sports sold. But that doesn't happen without the discussion.
Right.
And that's hard to do at the local level, especially if you're competing with someone on some level.
Yeah. Most partnerships work well when you're not competing, right? You have the same audience and whatever else. However, when there are significant costs involved or a significant learning challenge, right? So, kind of jumping ahead, a lot of things that I do on an agency side is I don't actually go out to find customers. Different agencies will come to me, and I will kind of white label the services for them. And what that means for everyone that doesn't understand what white labeling is I will actually work with another agency. So we have similar things that we do, but I do things more efficiently, and I have the connections that they do not have. So instead of them having to learn a whole new system, learn how to do all these things, start making all these phone calls to get the right connections, they'll just call me up and say, here's what we have. Can you take this on? That in that capacity, I'm saving them time. I'm costing them some money, but I'm saving them time, the energy. They have somebody that can go to and actually get it done right away instead of having this drastic learning curve to satisfy their customer base.
So let's talk about specifically, there's too many things on here today to hit all of them.
Of course.
So we're just going to pick out a couple of one. Let's talk about distribution and the ability to form partnerships in terms of distribution. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so, let's say you are a local manufacturer of something, right? Let's say you have bees and you make honey. You made the honey, congratulations. You're not afraid of bees. You've produced a product, but now what do you do? Okay, well, I can go to a farmer's market and I can, sell it there. Okay, well, that's your local farmer's market. You're limited by the amount of people that are going to walk by. What about finding other people that have the ability to distribute, right? Maybe there's somebody that is looking for a product that they want to sell online, but they don't produce any products. There's a ton of college kids out there that are always wanting to do e-commerce, right? And they'll go out there and they'll try and find some kind of product and try and push that out there. Now, what if you could just go to a college campus and say, I'm looking for, meet a professor, meet somebody, and just say, I'm looking for 5 to 6 individuals that would like to start pushing my honey online. Odds are you'll find 1 or 2 that'll say yes, right? I've got a student right now that I'm working with that, he he was looking for a product. He found this one product. He was doing something around like $6,000 to $10,000 a month in sales. It was a side project for him. Now, obviously, if you're at a local market, you're only going to sell so much. But if you start to find other distribution partners, if we're in Northwest Indiana, if we're in Chicago, we're in any location, what about people in St. Louis? What about people in Louisville? What about people in Cleveland, right? How do I get my honey over there? And those are the distribution networks that you should start to ask, right? Like start looking for individuals in those areas and say, hey, I can provide the honey if you can sell it. And then you just, obviously you got to work on the pricing, but to make sure it's worth it for you. But you don't have to do everything. And that's what, we're talking about partnerships. So find a partner that can go out there and sell it. You focus on what you're good at, making the honey, or I should say harvesting the honey.
How do you bring affiliates into this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, affiliates are really just people that are out there pushing your product, right? So we talked about distribution just a second ago, but when we talk about affiliates, it's how do we get more people talking about our company? We've mentioned social influencers in the past. There are a variety of people that and one of the things that I love to talk about is I read a book years ago, and I cannot remember the name of it, but the whole premise of it is that everyone is connected by roughly around 4 to 6 people in your life. Right, so you go back in time and you start to, outside of family, right? Family's going to introduce you to people, but like the people that you meet in your daily life, most of those are from 4 to 6 people, and you start to identify who those people are, right? And it's no different in business. Identify those individuals that can introduce you to more and more people and put them to work, right? So let them become affiliates of promoting your business and give them some kind of incentive, right? So if I were to give you a card to say, I'm selling honey, and for every one of these cards that I get at the farmer's market, I'll give you $1. Let them go, right? So somebody comes in with a little coupon card that you had handed out to, Ryan over there, right? Every single one of those that I get back, I call Ryan back after the farmer's market and go, I just got 21 of these. Stop by, pick up your $21. Thank you for doing this. Let me know when you need more cards. It's something as simple as that. And I don't want to get into the whole e-commerce and affiliates and that large game because I don't think that's necessarily our market here. But something as simple as just finding those people that are connectors to your general population and just saying, hey, would you like to earn an extra, few dollars every month? Just hand these cards out.
We are a digital streaming sports network, and we started here on the campus doing Purdue's games. That's how it started.
Right.
And we're like, all right, we got one affiliate. And then we're like, well, we could do this again. So I went to my high school, Munster High School, and we started doing this. And we had 2 affiliates. So they're telling people, Purdue Northwest and Munster, to go watch JED TV Sports Network. So then we said, all right, well, these guys went to Highland, and we went and got Highland, and we got some other. Now we have 22 affiliates. So when I use the word affiliate, we use it that the content is coming to us. But there is that other element of it, is that we're going to that affiliate, and they're telling all the people in their community that they got to go watch the game on JED TV because that's the only way you're going to get it.
Right.
And so that kind of brings distribution into it. But I had no idea the power going the other way. Right. I thought it was, you're just giving us our game. No, the real power is we got the game. Now you're telling everybody in your community to use that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's take one other one.
Sure.
Content partnerships.
So, again, right, you need content for, let's say, your social media, right? We go back to social a lot just because I know a lot of our audience is on social and doing things for their different companies.
Let's just simplify it to your Facebook feed.
Very simple. Facebook feed, right? So I need content, right? You need content for your sports network. Where does that come from? It comes from going out to your affiliates and they provide the they're playing a game. Without those games, how much content would you have on your Facebook page?
Oh, geez, a few interviews.
Right.
That's about it, really.
So,
some score updates.
Right. So you would not have any content to put out there. Same thing for our YouTube channel. If I was not sitting here in studio with us recording, I would not have content to put out on the YouTube channel, right? So those content partnerships that you form allow you to do much bigger things. We have a wonderful producer here that takes care of us, right?
What is her name?
What is her name?
Adriana Alvarez. She is a senior digital marketing
probably
student.
Doing homework back there, right?
Yes.
So, but no, that's what I mean. Like, without her behind the scenes, we would not have the content that we need here, right? To promote and push the show out. So think about that and go, all right, where can I find this content? Who can I partner with to provide that value for me? And how do I give value back to them? So it's a back and forth. A partnership is back and forth. It's not take, right?
He's Matt Hansen. We got other things to talk about. The whole idea is that technology and the direction that things are going may be breaking down a lot of things, but one of those is kind of these imaginary walls, these silos of different local companies that you can now come together using different portions of the technology. That's almost my whole business now, is finding affiliates, distributing other people's content, and then giving them value back. I mean, it really is something that I discovered by accident trying to do something else.
Yeah.
He's Matt Hansen. Matt, where can you find this podcast?
You can find us on Apple. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iHeart. We are now going back up on Amazon. We're on YouTube. You can find us pretty much anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Yes,
it seems as if he is finding a new distribution outlet every week. Hey, Matt, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Until next time, we'll see you later.
The Mastering Local Marketing podcast helps local small business owners like you understand what it takes to successfully market your business and drive new customers through your doors. We provide actionable insights, interview leading experts and business owners in various industries, as well as provide tips and tricks we've uncovered over the last 25 years in the field. Whether you're starting your business or you've been at it for decades, let us provide you with the education and resources you need to grow your customer base. It's time to start mastering your local marketing.